Hey everyone, so I'm joined by Dave, whom I've known since at least 2016.
Yeah.
So Dave previously had a history doing case modding, doing reviews writing, hardware and otherwise. Now is at EK, and we're looking at an EK InWin cross collaboration, and fittingly, I think we first met probably at InWin's factory.
Yeah, in 2016, like you said, I did the InWin mod in Taiwan, which was like a modding competition where InWin brought a load of us from around the world, America and everything, and we just built PCs. Good time.
For background for everyone, so we've been trying to show more people in the industry behind the scenes who the people are, what they do, how they contribute to stuff, and specifically, I think you all know this in the audience, but we've been trying to put people on camera who I really respect their abilities and are either on engineering side, product development, stuff like that. Dave truly and genuinely is an enthusiast first and foremost.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like, I started in the industry, like you say, doing modding and doing the PC building, and that's really what I'm focused on. And nowadays, I still do the builds in my personal life, in my private life. I still like using the hardware, so that's the main part.
Yeah. So this case is really cool. It's a custom case. I want to be honest, it's not affordable, just straight up. So we'll just get that out of the way now. But this is still super cool to look at and a really fun build. And Dave's been working on this. So we're going to walk around it, talk about some of the build, what's cool with it.
In terms of hours, I've probably put 16, 18 hours into it. The main reason is simply that I didn't actually see the case until I got here. So I got here, saw the case, took it all apart.
So blind build.
Yeah. Obviously the R&D guys and the guys back at Slovenia told me what it was like, but until you actually get hands on, it's completely different. They told me obviously like what radiators fit in there, and one of the R&D guys has done a build into it and showed me what he's done, which I kind of fell back on once I started running into some troubles. And it's a nice build, but now I've seen it and now I know how to do it, I'd do it completely different.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to explain?
I've been in a room on my own for 16 hours, man.
And other than that, also useful for fittings.
So it's a water-based lubricant, and to get the tube into the fittings, you've obviously got the rubber O-rings, and you don't want to damage them, so you chamfer them.
Or get some other liquid in the lube.
Exactly. And put a little bit of water-based lube on it, slides straight in.
Right.
You don't have to clean it. It's a really good way of doing it.
Can you walk me through some of the build? I mean, so first of all, the tubing looks awesome.
Thanks, man.
So great job on the tubing. And for fittings, I mean, I don't know the names of EK's product lines.
Yep. So these are quantum torque fittings, so it's out to the torque range. Obviously got the 90s, you've got the standard torque fittings with the hard tubing, and then these are actually double rotary fittings, which are really cool. They actually spin around. You've actually got
Which one is that? This one?
This one here, like this.
Oh, that one. Okay.
So it's kind of, they actually move. So the whole fitting turns, so it can be 90, 45. So they are really, really handy when you're doing stuff like this where you don't know what you're going to need. And with this, everything's what we call matrix 7. Okay. So matrix 7 means that all the fittings will fit into a 7, 21 or 28 range, or 14. Okay. So it's a multiple of 7. Right. And it means all this is dead easy to do, because for this, I just needed to come out multiples of 7 to get to this.
Right.
And that's why everything is so perfectly straight. It's not because of my skills or, pre-thinking it out. It's because the R&D guys know that I'm an idiot and they made it as easy as possible.
Case is all aluminum. This is the EK collaboration with InWin.
Yeah, so this is the 977 with EK and InWin. Yeah, so we designed it. We gave InWin some challenges. Like normally they only do a single curve for most of their cases. So like the 909, the 904, things like that. The ones that you've seen normally with this metal normally have a single curve. With this having a double curve, it puts a lot of issues on manufacturing, because normally once you've bent it once, it's very hard to bend another radius right next to it.
That makes sense.
So that's one difficulty.
I'm guessing that's also part of why it's so thick.
Yeah.
Other than just perceived quality. But.
Well, yeah. So InWin always use like a really high quality, thick aluminium, and with InWin and EK, it's never going to be cheap in terms of, $100. But when you're getting a product that actually feels premium as well as looks it, at least it's you're getting something for your money.
So I was just looking these 4 screws, normally back panels don't come off. What is this for?
Right, yeah, so I can actually show you, but it'll be a bit janky because this is a prototype.
Okay.
But, so these actually come off because the whole of this case can be inverted. So this comes off.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty nice. Yeah.
And then what you can do now as well is if the radiators weren't plumbed in, and let's see if I can grab one of these. So that's actually a removable fan filter. Oh, there we go, I've got that one.
Okay.
That one came out really. So that's a removable fan filter. And also,
and it's in the cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the radiator does the same.
Does the cage? Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
And what you can do is with the revised version, with the one that we're doing very, very soon, the radiators will be on a slightly different mount. So instead of them having to be flipped, like on this one, to change it to give you the space for the motherboard, they'll actually be more concentric so that you can just put it in and it'll work whichever side you put them on.
Right.
And that is basically the main feature of the case, is the motherboard can be flipped completely over and put on this side.
I honestly feel like I would probably just use a system like this because it looks cool.
Yeah, but if you put it in this way, so you'd have the GPU at the top. The
it's also like $200 of aluminum.
yeah. It is like a little shield. And that's another thing. So you might see that this at the moment is a little bit too saggy. And one of the features that we're changing is we're actually putting some strengthening on the back. So with it being a prototype, though, you've got to start somewhere. Yeah. And this is the first working sample.
So you said it can be inverted. So you take the motherboard, flip it over here, GPU ends up at the top?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So if you think of it like this, so the GPU would be at the top, your motherboard would be at the bottom. Okay. And then the power supply tray also can be inverted, so the power supply would be down this side. And as well as the power supply being able to go on both sides, that can also be turned upside down or vanilla.
This build is super clean though. It looks really good.
I'm actually quite happy with how it's turned out.
I can't wait to see you jam all the cables in and then
I'm
spray paint the glass black.
In that bag, I've already started making new cables for it.
Okay.
I'm not using the stock cables. Yeah. I'll make all them.
So you're building cables? Okay.
Yeah, cool. That's what I've been doing at the hotel.
Yeah.
I think the cleaner might think I'm up to something dodgy because you've just got wires and things everywhere. So on the back, one of the nice features of this, if you've ever water cooled anything, you need access to the rear of the motherboard. And even air cooling, you only need access to that as well. Right. So this little plate doubles up as both a SSD holder or a hard drive holder, but it also gives you full access to the CPU socket at the back. So it makes removing and adding a CPU really easy. Once again, you've got the power supply that can be inverted. You've got as much cable management as you want. You've got either of these can be, chuck a cable tie around them or a Velcro tie. And then also you've got a load of grommets, so you can either go through the back of the motherboard tray with your cables, or you can go through the side here, which makes it really, really clean.
And there's also, when you sent me the photo of the case originally, I saw the front, I was like, I don't know about the airflow, but it is actually, it's got massive punch outs on the front, or the top and the bottom.
Yeah, the whole of the bottom's completely open as well, so you've got the steps that double up as the feet as well as that.
Stack effect.
And this also has our Matrix 7 kind of fan grill, so each one's a 7, which is quite cool as well.
Yeah. And it's got a touch button.
Yeah,
with the logo.
Yeah, it's not actually a press button, you just tap it and it'll turn on, which is pretty cool.
Get a shot of the inside too.
Yeah, obviously the fans aren't plugged in yet, but...
Okay, well, Inman wants us to go to the factory now, so we gotta cut this one. But this is a really cool build. Wanted to give you a look at something that, again, like I said, someone who's been in the industry for a similar amount of time and has always worked enthusiast first. I wanted to show off something Dave was working on. It's a really good looking build, and it's a cool first look at the case as well. So.
And one other thing is when you do the inward move at Computex, it'll actually be complete then with fluid, so you'll be able to check out what it looks like then.
I'll come check and make sure the cables are actually managed. Yeah. Okay, so we last checked in with Dave, I don't know, 5 days ago or something?
Yeah, 5. It's been a bit of a blur.
It's been complete chaos in the time since. It was calm before the storm last time. The build is done. So we actually have a conclusion to this video.
Yeah, so...
What you said something about staying up 40 hours, and so what did you have to go through to finish?
Well, the thing is, I wanted to do more than I could, and just in the time restraints. And I always make my own cables. It's like a thing I've always done. And I didn't need to do it. It's not a necessity, but I stayed up, having a few beers, you know, making cables. Next minute, I was like, wait, I haven't slept. I really should sleep now. So,
what ended up being, so last time we saw it, there was no liquid yet.
Yes.
You did confirm that these are aluminum.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are indeed. I don't know why I second guess myself. Sometimes I'm stupid. Yeah, they are aluminum because they don't touch water, so it's fine. You know. It's okay.
There's no mixing metals concern if it doesn't touch water. What ended up being in the final aspect of this? What was the most challenging part?
The hardest part probably was I didn't know what fittings to send to Taiwan to do the build.
Okay.
So I had to kind of guess and mix and match.
Yeah.
And the hardest part was probably doing this, the joints from the radiator to the distro here, because I just didn't know what I need for that. I managed to do them thanks to the Matrix 7, with having all the fittings being in multiples of 7, and that saved my life. If it wasn't for that, I'd struggle, I think.
Are you happy with how it came out?
Yeah, happy, very happy, because, you know, I've had a few days to build it. I'm in Taiwan to build it, and that's always an interesting thing in itself. But I would change some things if I could as well.
I think that's good, though, because I feel like if you don't always feel like you're leaving something on the table, then it means you don't maybe have enough ambition. Going into it with ambition is good. One question for you. Why did you...
Don't touch.
Sorry.
There's a sign there, bro. There's a sign.
There is a sign.
Do not touch.
Why would you willingly put adhesive on a panel?
Well, there's a bit of a legend that's going around saying that I mishandled the case, but no, there is a scratch that is going down there. It's not a great scratch. I don't know how I put it there, but we actually did a walk around right at the end, ready to pack it up, and like, big massive scratch. So luckily, we're like, we can fix this. A sticker. I'm like, I was expecting to bring out some sandpaper or something.
That's a company that's had experience with that problem before.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was thinking like maybe like a sanding block or something to do again. I was like, that's wicked. Sticker.
I'm glad it came out well. I'm glad it works.
No, me too. Yeah, me too.
And, that's the conclusion for this one. So thank you, Dave, for joining me.
I appreciate you coming out and seeing me as well. It's always a pleasure to see you, dude, and I appreciate you taking the time to look at the case.
Yeah, it's a great build.
Thank you.
Subscribe for more. We'll see you all next time.